Jenny, just let me know when you want me to get started. I was just on a call, so I didn't hear if you wanted me to go ahead.
Kelly, I think you can. I think in, respect of everyone's noon time, you can go ahead and get started. I'm sure we'll have more people join us, but I'll watch the door.
Okay, I just didn't know if y'all had an agenda enough. I was in there somewhere in that. This is my first time I've joined y'all's group. Thank you for having me today. We're going to be talking about dream boards and at-home exercise. I thought these really went kind of hand in hand. Great things to talk about together. So I'll just go ahead and get started. Feel free to ask questions, and we'll pause between each section so we can talk about the dream boards, and when we're done with that, and then we'll talk about that at home exercise. So I'm Kelli Schwind with Family Menders. Thanks for having me here today. Dream board is also referred to as vision board. So if you do some Googling around about it, it's also referred to as vision board, but I just like dream board. I think it sounds better. So that's what I'm going to call it. We're going to talk today about the how and the why. It's a very easy thing to do. If you haven't done it, you can get started today. You've heard of visualization, I'm sure. It is the power of the mind and the law of attraction. What you think about, you attract. It's not magic. It's just that what's on the forefront of your mind, you're going to start recognizing. For example, if I decide today I want to start doing yoga, I've never done it before. I've never, learned anything about it, but I just want to put that out there. I'm going to start seeing things in my social media feed about yoga. I'm going to hear friends talking about it, or maybe seeing billboards or advertisements about it. So it's going to be, my mind is being open to that, because that's what I want to put on my dream board. So it's about the law of attraction. What you focus on expands. It can help you achieve your goals, and you want to put it as part of your daily practice. That's why the dream board is so important, because you can have it part of your daily routine. It's very easy. You just glance at it and you just get that in your brain, and you'll go out into the world and start to fulfill those dreams. Should focus on how you want to feel, not just the things that you want. You can put pictures and quotes and just pretty pieces of paper. I did a dream board, which I'll share with y'all 10 years ago, which I found a few weeks ago. And I got a book of that origami paper. It's really pretty paper. You can make origami birds and such out of it. And I would put that on my board because I thought that was really pretty to look at. So you can decorate it any way you want. You want to display it in a prominent place? I would put it somewhere in a bedroom, a bathroom, a closet, something I went to every day, not necessarily in my house, because I want it to be more personal, something that I could see every day and walk past. You want to take a few hours to start your dream board. It's something that you can add to and be done over time. So don't think that you've got to sit down and make it perfect. You can start one section and just get out a few magazines, some pictures, and start putting them on there. You can do them short term every year or long term. When I did a dream board 10 years ago, it was more of a long term dream board. And looking back at it, I can see that I did achieve some of those dreams. You can make one just for personal. You can make one for work. You can make one with family. You can get the kids involved. So it's about creating this vision board. It's a huge part of it. Like I said, you can do it by yourself. You can do it with family. You can do it with friends, but make it fun, make it easy. Get those creative juices going. Naturally, I am not a creative person when it comes to artistic things. Creating the dream board was fun because you can't get it wrong. It's for me to look at, no one else, and it's for me to enjoy. So you want to ask yourself, what do I really want? What are my dreams? What are my visions for the future? Is it going back to school? Is it promotions? Is it anything to do with family? Is it anything to do with getting better sleep or traveling? Things that you can do to help expand your mind and think about the dreams that you have are meditation. That can help get the juices flowing. Exercise, journal writing. I'm not very good at journal writing, y'all, but pattern interruption is something I'm good at. It's when you're sitting down in the middle of a project and you're stumped and you need to figure something out. It's getting up and getting away. from that project, doing something completely different, like going and making a sandwich, or going and cleaning something, or taking a break and calling a friend. And while you're having that off time from that project, that's when you're starting to think of those things and helping figure out that problem. Do you ever have those shower thoughts? That's part of pattern interruption, because you're just taking a shower and you're not thinking about anything else, and you're having all the juices flowing. Also, I highly promote vacation and unplugging from technology. So how does it work? Like I was talking about, if I decide I want to start doing yoga, it's the same thing. You want a promotion at work. You're going to start speaking up more at meetings. You're going to start volunteering to take on more responsibility. You'll start to notice you're unexpectedly doing things to move you closer to your goals, because it's in the forefront of your mind. You're making it a habit of thinking about your dreams and goals, and they just end up coming to fruition. It might be short-term goals or long-term goals. It could take any from a year to 5 years or even 10 years, but it's something that you're consciously and subconsciously working on. So getting started. I'm going to mute one of you guys because there's a bit of a background information here. If you guys could mind everybody muting, thank you. Sorry. So getting started. There's lots of different ways to start your dream board. I did mine on a cork board with push pins. The one you'll see that I'll share later was not on a cork board, because I actually took them all off the cork board and put them in a sandwich bag to keep for later. And thank goodness I kept that sandwich bag. So I just laid them out on a service to show you guys. So I like the cork board with push pins because you can easily remove and replace, right? You also want scissors to cut out magazines. You can also do the poster board. I love the poster board. That's something great for kids. That's something great if you don't want to spend the money on a cork board. Tape and glue. And then if you're computer savvy, you can also do one on a computer, but I don't necessarily recommend that, because I think you really got to get into it with your hands. And it's kind of like reading those paperback books as opposed to reading the Kindle book. Some of us really like to just have that paperback book in our hand. So if you want to do it on a computer, by all means, I'll show you some examples of those. I can't help you on how to do that, so you'll have to figure that out on your own. I'm a cut and paste kind of girl. So that's how you'll get started. You'll handwrite your goals instead of typing them. I did type some of mine because I didn't know about this rule back then, but it just like, when you handwrite something to remember it, but you know that you don't really have to go back to that notepad, you just naturally remember it. That's part of it. You just kind of want to engage when you're writing down things, you're engaging the right brain and the left brain. You're going to put affirmations, inspirational words, quotes, thoughts, anything on there that's just for you. You're going to use photographs, magazine cutouts, pictures from the internet, whatever inspires you. I think I had a few things on my dream board that I couldn't necessarily find the picture for, so I just made my own and typed a little caption on there. Put your favorite colors, color swatches. Maybe you want your dream is to redo your kitchen. So you're going to start looking at color swatches and tile colors, and you're going to put that on there so you can start thinking about that. So 6 easy steps. Create a list of the goals you'd like to achieve in the next year or more long-term. It's however you want to do it. I did not do a short-term one. I did a long-term one, and I felt like that was a little bit easier for me. Collect a bundle of old magazines with pictures. That's something, as well as getting your own pictures that inspire you. Making a collage. Affirmation words are huge. I think that is so important. Just in the daily life of self-care, we want to make sure we're having those positive self-talk and what's going to represent how you feel, and take a few minutes every day to contemplate your vision dream board. It's not something that I necessarily looked at and read everything every day, because I knew where everything was on the dream board, but it was in my bedroom, and I could just glance over at it and remember that it was there, and that helped me achieve my own goals. So here's some ideas online. This is a really nice looking one because it did it on a computer. I'm not certain how, but I'm sure some of you guys know how to do that, tech savvy stuff. And I like this because it's pretty simple. It's got some great things on here about what this person wanted. Here's a really busy one, and I'm sorry it's a little fuzzy, but this is really busy. I would say this person probably sat down and did it over time, right? They didn't figure all this out in 1 hour and one day of 1 hour sitting. They collected these things over time, and eventually they made it how they wanted. And then this one I like because it's simpler. It's on the poster board, and you can see how they cut out the pictures and words and different things. It looks like they cut everything out actually and just pasted it right on there. So I think this is a pretty cool one. And then here is my vision board. So I really want to get into mountain biking, and I did, and I still am. Like I said, I did this 10 years ago. So I'm definitely into mountain biking. I wanted to do an Ironman, which I did end up doing. I've got some pictures of friends on here, picture of my dog. Yoga was on there. I can say that I still don't have a good yoga routine, mainly because you've probably figured out by now that I'm pretty hyper energetic and hyper. So yoga is a little too calming for me. That's why I think I like triathlon. But this is one of my favorite quotes. It's, "What do you plan to do with this one wild and crazy life?" And it's by Mary Oliver. And I actually got it off of someone's fridge, friend of mine's fridge. And it just really spoke to me at that time of my life 10 years ago. And she gave it to me, and I still have it. So this is that origami paper I was telling you about. I just thought it was really pretty. Here's some other quotes. Just that's more about getting out and exercising. I got really big into triathlon back then. And I love to see this Costa Rica one because I forgot about it. I actually ended up going on my honeymoon to Costa Rica. So I would say most of these goals fulfilled. That's a tassel from me achieving my MBA in 2012. So this is just a little bit of me, show you how I got started with my dream board. So I'd like to hear from you guys if you'd like to share briefly. Does anyone have a dream board, or talk about how they created it, or give us tips and tricks on how to get started? They say when you ask a question, you're supposed to wait 30 seconds to give people time to answer. Looks like there's some information in the chat box. Okay, good. It's not for me. All right. Well, I wish you all luck in your dream board. Hope you get that started, and I would love to hear about how you were achieving your goals. So next, we're going to talk about at-home exercise. It's a little bit longer of a training. So at-home exercise is a topic that we were asked to present, and we're just going to talk about how to get started. I don't know where everyone is in exercise, so we're just really going to kind of talk about beginning exercise. You want to start an exercise program. I really like this quote. "Exercise is a magic pill." It truly, truly is. It can help increase mood, decrease disease, help you live longer, fight depression. You've heard of endorphins runners get. It's called the runner's high. And that's what they're talking about. You do get this endorphin boost when you do exercise. I like to talk about walking first because I think it's such an underrated activity. I think walking is one of the most important things we could be doing. It's very easy. It's low stress on your body. You can just step outside your door, especially these beautiful spring days we're having. You can do it with the family. Hiking is also a form of walking. Get out in nature. You're increasing your vitamin D. You've heard a lot about that over the last year, how much we need vitamin D. You're increasing your mood. You sleep better. Just in general for exercise. But like I said, walking, you can go on a 5-minute walk every day. You can add that to your routine. So here's some excuses we all have sometimes when it comes to exercising. I hate exercising. Is that something that you guys commonly think of? Well, I think it's important to think about the types of exercise you like. Okay, so for example, I don't really like, going to the CrossFit places and those group workouts and things like that. But I do like doing things at home. I like running, but I don't like running on pavement because it hurts my knees. So I'll run on trails. So you got to think about what makes you happy, or maybe you just like dancing, or is it kayaking or paddleboarding? I'm too busy. That is a common one. Of course, we're all busy, but just making it part of your habit, making it part of your routine is going to be important. One of our coworkers gave this great advice during the beginning when the pandemic started and everyone was working at home. And she really had this great routine of working at home and then transitioning into her evening family life. And she said she breaks that up with exercise. And I thought that was wonderful because, we're sitting in our home all day working, and then we go into our home life. There's not a lot of transition, but what she does, she takes a lap around the block, It takes about 30 minutes, and she listens to her favorite podcast or book on tape. So that's something. She's listening to her books and getting that done, and she's breaking up that day for herself. I'm too tired is actually exercise increases your energy. You wouldn't think so. It actually, you think it'd make you more tired, but it doesn't. Sometimes when I go into a workout, because I'll be training for a race and I know I have a certain amount of workouts I need to get, and I think, oh, I don't want to do it today, I'm too tired, and then I'll end up doing it, and I'll actually feel better and be less tired. So over time, and right in the beginning, you might feel a little tired, but over time, you are going to be getting that just general overall boost. But in general, when you do exercise, it's going to wake you up, especially if you've been at home all day, you're working from home. Get out, take a lap, take a 5-minute walk, walk the dog, make it a family activity. It's too difficult and too painful. Find the things that are right for you. I recommend consulting a doctor if it's something that's a concern of yours, that you're getting into exercise and you don't know how to start, is for your health and where you are. So make sure you do consult somebody, but there is an activity out there for everyone. Same thing with I'm not athletic. Anybody can do exercise. You just got to find out what's right for you. You hate running, then don't run. That is not a problem. Walk. Like I said, you can make it a social activity. And then I'm not fit enough. I'm not young anymore. My health isn't good. Those are all just excuses. Anybody can get started. I was talking about how I did an Ironman. And when I first started triathlon in 2006, I never thought. I did the sprint triathlons. They took an hour. An Ironman takes 15 hours. That gives you some perspective. Never thought that I would be able to do that. But over time, I increased my racing, and it took me 8 years until I did an Ironman. So it was a really long time before I did sign up for one. But I was able to achieve that goal because I did do it in incremental steps. I didn't just say that year I was going to sign up after starting triathlon, because I had to really grow in that sport. But I'm not saying you guys got to do an Ironman. I'm just talking about getting out and getting some sunshine. And also, we're going to be talking about the at-home living room exercises today as well. So you want to ditch the all or nothing attitude. I have that sometimes. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and sometimes it's all or nothing to me. But I think that you have to start out, maybe it's just 5 minutes. I've got 5 minutes a day to do something. And then you add to that, it's 10 minutes a day, or 5 minutes 3 times a week, whatever that looks for you. Just do something, figure out what you like. Be kind to yourself. Everybody is starting out at a different level. So you're not going to be like your neighbor, your best friend, your spouse, whoever. Just be sure that you're thinking about you and your own personal goals. And that's what you should be working to achieve. Same thing, check your expectations. Don't go out full force your first week because, an hour workout a day, because that's a little, it might be unachievable just because it's something new. You really want to slowly build good habits. So we're going to talk about finding a dedicated space in your home. If you're doing the at home, when we're talking about strength workouts, find something that you like, that you want to stick to. We've been talking a lot about habits. We're going to talk about some basic definitions of exercise and equipment, setting your goals, and then having that accountability partner is going to be helpful as well. So we talked about choosing, that it's so important to choose the activity that you enjoy, because your chances of making a habit are going to be more successful. So here's a giant list. I love the doing household chores. You can really get into that. Lots of different things. Paddleboarding is a fun one. Swimming, no, that's not at home. Gardening is a great one as well. Walking around the block. So these are really great cardio things that you can do outside of the gym. So you're thinking about yourself, how much exercise should I do? Well, the recommended number of minutes is 150 minutes of moderate activity per week. So that's a lot to start out on. I know that. So 10 minutes a day is fine. Just start. Maybe it'll take you a year to get to 150 minutes. That's perfectly fine. That's a lot of time. So just go and try 5 or 10 minutes. And like I said, make it social, make it part of your family time. Go for an after dinner walk if you can, a before dinner walk. That's something that you can do. Go outside and play with the dog in the yard. That's a form of exercise. So I just really want to stress, that 1 minute of activity will help you lose more weight than no activity at all. We're not talking about exercise just for weight loss. We're just talking about exercise for better health in general. Exercising by heart rate is going to be important as you really get into exercising. So if it's not something that you've done before, you just want to get out and start something, don't really focus so much on your heart rate. But if you think, well, I want to progress, I want to get better at it, or you're already really elevating your heart rate, what it talks about is making sure you're doing those vigorous activities. So when you're looking, when you're looking at heart rate, you're looking at your maximum heart rate. So you want to take the person's age. So think about your age minus 220. So mine is 180 about. So that's my max heart rate. I don't necessarily want to get up there because your heart's not going to explode and you're not going to die, but you are going to feel like you want to die because your heart keeps going so fast. So to start, you really want to be about 50% of that. So that's about 90 for me, right? But I've been exercising quite a while, so I'm probably going to be a little bit higher than that because I've been doing it for a while. So if you're new at it, don't worry, just get out and do something. But I think exercising by heart rate over time is going to be something that you can track. And if you have a Fitbit or a smartwatch or something that can track that, it's going to be that a lot easier for you. But it's not required. I just like to talk about these things so you have a little bit of an idea than just the basics. So we talked about consulting a doctor. If you have any health risks at all, concerns, please take any new regimen with caution, consult a doctor. If you don't have a regular doctor, you can go to a walk-in clinic and just say, hey, I want to start out on an exercise program, and they can do some labs and just do a physical and just make sure that you are in good health to do what activity you want to start doing, okay? Okay, so this is a lot on this slide, I know that, but I think it's important to talk about definitions because when I first got into exercise, I didn't know what a rep was. I didn't know what a set was. So I think it's important to just mention this. So what have we been talking about? We've been talking about cardio mostly, running, cycling, walking, anything that's speeding up your heart rate, okay? We talked about your maximum heart rate. That mine's about, like I said, 180. So I'm probably doing really vigorous exercise. I'm about 140, but again, I've been working out for 15 years. So that's why I'm up that high, but you're probably going to be looking at 90 if you're at my age and about starting out. Flexibility training and stretching is going to be important. And when I see flexibility training, you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of yoga. That's how I get out around the whole yoga thing. I really want to do yoga, but I'm not very good at it because it's a little too calming. But I have just a quick 5-minute yoga routine that I do on my yoga mat at home that it's basically just stretching. So just think about it like that. And then something you always want to put into a workout routine, you don't always want to just do one or the other. You don't always want to just lift weights and have no cardio and vice versa. You want to put in a little bit of both. I think that is really great as we get older to make sure that you're strength training and resistance training. And that's something that you can do at home. You can use your body weight for that. So when we're talking about working out at home, doing strength training, you're talking about a set and a rep. So let's say I want to do bicep curls. So I'm going to do 3 sets times 10. So I'm going to do 10 bicep curls. And then I'm going to stop and wait a minute, let my heart rate get down, and then I'm going to gear back up and do 10 more. And then I'm going to stop and then I'm going to do 10 more. So that's 3 sets, 10 each. And then warming up is really important, especially if you're getting to really vigorous strength training or cardio. You want to make sure you warm up, do something really slow and easy. If you're going to start running, maybe start out walking. And then a cool down is probably more important than warming up because you really need to be stretching during your cool down. Like I said, I'd run through a few of those basic yoga moves that everyone knows. That's part of my cool down / flexibility training stretching. When we do work out, I really liked this when I started working out 15 years ago or training. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, I keep doing that. Where am I? It helped me really visualize what each level was. You know, when you go to the gym, it says, are you level 1, 2 to 10? I never really knew where I was. So I like to think of it as low, moderate, vigorous. Low, you can talk. Moderate is you're running along with a friend. and you hit a hill and you can't really talk as much. They say you can't sing. And then vigorous is you just really can't be talking. So it's funny when I would go running with friends, you're having these conversations and all of a sudden you're working a little harder. So you just pause right in the middle of the conversation and you get up that hill. And then you, as you're going down the backside of the hill, then you can pick it back up. But it's something we all do when we're doing that. I would say you want to get into the moderate as much as you can, getting that heart rate up. You know, if you're getting that heart rate up higher during your workouts, that means you're going to be burning more calories when you're not working out, right? So that's always a plus. Cardio, strength, flexibility. We just talked about that. The reason why I wanted to keep this slide in there, even though we just talked about it, because it talks about it a little bit more. And I will send this out, Jenny, I'll send this to you so you can share it with the team. At-home exercises, you've got squats, lunges, push-ups, sit-ups. So they say that there are a certain number of body movements that every human needs to be doing. It's the push, pull, lunge, and squat, as well as twist and hinge. I didn't put twist and hinge in there here because it's a little bit more involved, but you can do a squat at home, lunge at home, a push-up, a sit-up. You can do that at home. You can also use the internet. YouTube has so many workouts that you can be doing. You can also get on, I just heard today, one of our colleagues said that Netflix and Amazon Prime, there's workout videos on there. I've never seen them, but they said that there are. So I think that that's great as well. You can have a small investment in free weights. I have 5 to 10 pounds at home. I have a 5 and I have a 10. I don't have a lot of heavy weight. I don't have a lot of upper body strength. So I have to keep my weights low. So it's really inexpensive to just invest in a couple weights. You don't have to have the whole set. Resistance bands, those are really cheap. That's something that you can get. You can tie against a doorknob and you can do the pulling motion. Okay, that's what you want to do regularly. You want to get that pulling going, 3 sets of 10. Yoga mat. I love my yoga mat, even though I don't do yoga. I stretch on it a lot. It's great to just have laying around, finding that place in your home that you can just leave it laying out and use regularly. And maybe you just put it away when you have company coming over. Stretching, yoga mat for stretching, and then an exercise ball. I love the exercise ball because you can do core workouts, ab workouts on that. So I want to talk about a little bit more of the strength exercises, and I want to encourage you, if you do start strength at home, please make sure you're looking online at the proper form. This is Woodruff Fitness down here, and his YouTube channel is awesome because it has maybe 20 videos of the proper at-home exercise. He uses a couple weights, but he uses chairs and things like that, and he's showing you the proper movement. I've got degeneration in my knee and my neck. I can't put weight over my head. I can't do a lot of movements. So I have to make sure when I'm doing strength exercise, I've got to make sure my form is perfect, because you do not want to do any kind of weighted exercise and have bad form, because you can really hurt yourself. So I really like this YouTube channel. He's out of Chattanooga. You can hop on there and just watch it and do it along with him. But this is what we were talking about earlier, the push, lunge, squat, and pull. You can do push-ups off a couch or your knees to get started. Again, get started with 10 reps, 3 sets. You can do it once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. Lunge, step up 1 per leg on a step. So you want to keep your 1 foot, let's say your left foot, on the step, and then your right foot you're going to keep straight, and you're just going to tap your toe behind you on the ground, and that's a lunge. So I think it's funny because when I went to a physical therapist for my knee, I had told her, I said, I can't do any lunges. I'm not supposed to do any lunges because someone had told me that because of my knee issues. And she said, well, do you walk upstairs, don't you? Yes, every day. And so that's a lunge. So that's why we're talking about these exercises. Most importantly, we're doing them in everyday life. You're picking things up, groceries, kids, dogs, dog food, things like that. You want to get that really good squat going, and all you have to do is get a chair and sit to stand 10 times, 3 sets of that. And the one thing you do need to get is a resistance band for the pulling motion, because you really do have to get that pulling motion. If you have Maybe you have an at-home rowing machine. That's great for pulling also, but you don't have to spend a lot to get started. I hope that you've discovered through this presentation that it can be easy to get started. So again, really great online examples. Check out Woodruff Fitness. I think it's some excellent videos. So we talked about YouTube. I hear a lot about this yoga with Adrienne. She's very popular on YouTube, and I have a lot of friends and actually coworkers that use her. So that's really great, and you can incorporate that and learn some yoga moves. Or anything, I really want to encourage you today to go out and find a program that works for you, try different things, and figure out what fits your body, your lifestyle, your family, and your goals. Take it easy. Again, don't go all ham on trying to, do a marathon in a month. Okay. You want to really train. If you want to sign up for that marathon, or that 5K, make sure that there's all sorts of training plans online that you can download. It's very easy. And I love fitness, y'all. So I'll have my contact information in there, Jenny. So if anybody wants to troubleshoot anything with me or ask me any questions, I would love to help. So please do reach out to me. You want to schedule it, plan ahead, hold yourself accountable to make it a habit. Like I said, my colleague, she does it after working every day from home, takes that break, does her at-home workout, and then gets into, her family life. And I think that's great because it's just that she has that trigger every day. She knows she's going to do that. Make it sociable and enjoyable. I think it's so important to have accountability partners, whether it's your loved ones or a friend. I have a friend who I trained with for years and years. And while I'm not doing a lot of triathlons anymore, we still work out sometimes together. But when we're not working out, we tell each other what we're going to be doing. And we check on each other. Hey, how did that swim go? Or, hey, did you go run today? I just did it this morning because I couldn't join her to run. But she went and ran by herself. And I said, hey, how'd that run go? Because it's just, someone's checking up on you. Drinking plenty of water. That's really important. Listen to your body. Please listen to those things. Like I said, I've got things going on in my body. I can't run on pavement anymore. I can't put weight over my head. I really have to listen to that or I'm going to seriously hurt myself. And then lastly, reward yourself. I think that's really important. So does anybody do any at-home exercise or any kind of exercise that they'd like to share with the team?
Hey, this is Angie Thompson. I do a lot of YouTube workouts because it is so convenient. It's at home. I put on my TV. So there's a group called HasFit. I'll do their workouts. And then another girl called Pamela, I think her name's Pamela Reef, and I'll do some of hers. And they do talk about form a lot on there too, which helps. And then they have all levels. So you can do beginner, intermediate.
Did you say Pamela? What's that last name?
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I believe it's Reef, R-E-I-F.
Oh, great. I'll type that in there when I send this to Jenny. So you said HasFit, H-A-S-F-I-T, and Pamela Reef.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Didn't mean to interrupt if you have more to share.
Oh, no, that's okay. I was good.
Any other at-home exercises or questions or ideas or barriers you want to talk about?
Hey, this is Susan Cooper. I actually got a cow print yoga mat for Christmas because you know me, I like cows. But I have been doing a lot of floor, leg lifts and things like that. Plus, I have like the light weights. I do my arm. Then it's been about 3 weeks now ago, I fell on one of my knees, of course, and kind of limited myself. But I've still been doing the arm exercises, and my knee's getting better, and I'm gonna get back into the exercise. But yeah, we actually, I don't know how many people know this, but it is a fact. We get a 15-minute, we actually get an hour a week exercise leave break. It's in the HR manual even. And so if you want to break that up into 4 15 minutes, that equals that. So I try to make use of that. I had a mini stroke back in January. And so I have really been focusing. I have been doing some health things, and then I fell off the wagon. So I really been focusing on trying to get healthy again. So my supervisor very much encourages my exercise breaks, but it's actually something that we are allowed. So
That's wonderful, Susan. I didn't know that for you guys. So 1 hour a week during the workday. And I love to hear that you've made the your yoga mat is really fun to look at. It's something that you enjoy. And you had mentioned that you hurt your knee, but you're still doing the arm exercises, which is great that you didn't just take a total break.
No, and I'm gonna be better, and I'm gonna get back to the other stuff. So
Good. And I'm glad to hear that you're on the mend from your stroke. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Some of this stuff's been very helpful this morning. Thank you.
I'm glad. Thank you for sharing. Anything else? Anybody wants to share?
I wanted to say
Thank you, Susan, for letting us know that.
welcome. One of the other things is I love that you call it a dream board instead of a vision board. I like that. And so I've never made one, but I'm going to, and I'm going to display it in my home office so I can see that too. So thank you for that as well. I tried to say something on the chat, but every time I've got on there, I've been kicked off of the Zoom, so I quit doing it. So.
Well, thank you for sharing. I'm excited that you're doing a dream board, and yeah, that's wonderful. I'll share this presentation with everybody so you can go back and reference if you need. All right, is that it, everybody?
Kelly, thank you so much. I think Jeannie's having some audio difficulties, so if no one else has any further comments or questions, this has been most helpful. We are posting, we recorded it and we're posting it to our YouTube channel, so it'll be out there and the slides will be available. And so it's just great information that all of us can use. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. And what's the YouTube channel? I'd love to check that out.
It is GPHSA. I think if you just Google up GPHSA on YouTube, it'll come up, and we post all our meetings there.
Okay, Rhonda, what's your email? And I'll forward you the email of the presentation as well.
It's Rhonda@gphsa.org.
Okay, I'll send that to you and Jenny. All right, thanks everyone. Go forth and make your dream board and have some at-home exercise. Y'all have a great day.
Thanks, Kelly.
Bye.
Thanks, you too.